being able to write those descriptions. Yes, that's a fantastic one. Yeah, yes.
Mostly use AI for photo editing. Like
Photo editing.
Photoshop.
Yes.
I've been so that there's some sort of program that will monitor how I edit photos.
Yes.
And can create something to edit an entire gallery based off of how I personally edit.
Yes.
Makes me feel better about AI.
Yes.
Kind of like with Photoshop, I'm going to go using funny docs.
Right. Photoshop. Yeah. Photoshop, AI, and generative fill. Right. Like if there's something you have to.
What we have as far as
For Photoshop?
For like photo editing with AI.
Yeah.
Thing to use.
Yeah, so let's open it up. Again, I love collective wisdom, right? So her question is there beyond, Photoshop with generative AI built into it, is there any other preferred tools for editing photos?
There's one called Aftershoot.
Aftershoot.
Just started playing with. I've heard from other people too.
Good. Yeah, good. That's why I love groups like this. You guys can all help each other, like collective wisdom. Yes? Oh, logos is Looka. It's Looka. Yeah. Thank you so much for asking me to repeat it. Absolutely.
Can you repeat the one with DALL-E?
Yes, yes. So again, you're just going to go to chat.openai.com. DALL-E is actually built into it. It used to be two separate websites. So OpenAI is the parent company that owns ChatGPT and DALL-E. DALL-E. Yes. And it's free images. Free images. Yes. Yes.
So here it kind of comes back to the idea of Skynet.
Yep.
For example, photo editing.
Yes.
We were previously paying people to edit the photos. Can't you say that AI is removing those jobs now because those people are no longer going to be able to edit photos because AI is not editing those photos?
Yeah, so she's concerned, with editing and, job loss due to, these tools being able to do, editing. And AI is going to impact over 300 million people over the next 5 years. So every stage I stand on, I say as leaders, we need to be upskilling and reskilling our teams for now and to the future. And so just like me having a digital agency 18 years ago, people looked at me like I was crazy when I was talking about it 18 years ago. I'm getting kind of the same looks now from an AI standpoint. But what happened was when digital came out, everyone freaked out, like, oh, the job loss. But how many new jobs came from it? A lot. So there's a whole new set of jobs that are coming from AI. If you go to Fiverr's where you can just go buy a little bit of time for very cheap, to get things done. And so in Fiverr, you can go hire a mid-journey artist, an AI editor, any video AI editor. There's all kinds of new jobs because of it.
So in essence, you're saying, for example, from the movie in Figures, when she's standing there with all the other calculators,
Yes.
she says you need to learn how to do this or you're basically losing your job. That's kind of what you're saying, is essentially jump on board and you're going to drown.
I wouldn't put it that hard.
That's in essence learning growing.
Let's call it learning and growing and evolving. Yeah, learning, growing, evolving. Let's a little softer. No, that's good. Because you're just sharing how everybody's feeling. Yeah. I love it. I saw a hand. Yes.
What portion of this industry we're in.
Yeah.
If you're a photographer, you still have to physically make
Yes.
that connection with your clients, take those pictures. You're still going to be using that tool
Yes.
to help you edit, but it is not replacing it.
Yeah.
For us in venues, you can't replace a person.
You can't replace a venue, right? And AI can't be a venue. It can't arrange flowers, right? It can't create human experiences, right? So yes.
I would think, for photographers and photo editing, you can still use still cameras if you want to.
True. That's a good analogy. You can still use film cameras if you want to, or you could use digital. That's a good analogy. I like that. Good. Any other questions or use cases? Because again, I love being able to share your collective wisdom.
I use it for my blog.
Use it for your blog on your website. Fantastic. Yes.
So if you were going to incorporate this into a job description,
Yes.
what would you write in?
ChatGPT. Ability to use ChatGPT. If you're using it and writing for a job description, you want to hire people, ask them, and it could just be, the ability to use AI, the ability to use ChatGPT, the ability to use, DALL-E, dollies more for images. So yeah, great question. And whenever you're stuck, you can ask ChatGPT, like, how would I word this? And being able to use for job descriptions, right? Human resources. So you can go in and use ChatGPT with you to write your job descriptions, because nobody likes writing job descriptions. So you can go in and say, hey, here's the type of person I want to hire. Help me write a job description for them. And then again, I always like to ask it, what am I not considering or what am I not thinking that I should be including in it? Yes?
Are you going to go over some examples of like prompts to go to put into the chat, like ChatGPT? Because I know I've played around with it.
Yeah.
And I felt like I wasn't getting back exactly what I wanted,
Yeah.
so I didn't know, like, do I need to be more specific?
Yes.
Or play around with the wording that I put in?
Yeah, so how to get better output is making sure you have great input. So we're going to talk a little bit of that. We're going to talk about context, and then we're going to talk about pitfalls. So we'll just wrap this up, and then we'll go into pitfalls. So thank you for the segue. I appreciate it. All right, so again, translation, risk and legal. If you're looking at a contract and like, I have no idea what I'm signing up for, you can actually ask ChatGPT, what does this mean, right? And where are the gotchas, right? You can ask ChatGPT to review it and provide feedback. So one of the things you've got to be really, really careful of, do not upload any personal information, any names of like the brides and individuals you're working with and couples, any intellectual property. Do not upload it, because ChatGPT is learning on the things you upload. It is training on it. There is a toggle switch that you can turn off and on in your settings, but I still don't trust it. Right? So you can do that, but making sure we do not upload anything that's intellectual property or names of couples that you're working with. You don't have to get to that level of specifics. And then HR again. So onboarding plans, job descriptions, performance reviews. Again, we don't go in and say the name of the person we're writing performance review. You just say, here's the scenario, here's the things I want to cover. Because back to, again, I like to talk in bullets, and if someone deserves more from a performance review, I'll go in, these are things I really want to cover with the individual, help me make it better, right? Learning and management systems, if you have any of those for your teams, and or training and development. If you're having to put together a training plan, you can go in and say, I have an hour, and I'm going to be talking about this, and we're going to be training on this. Here's the objective, here's the audience, here's my outline. Can you write me a facilitation plan? And it'll literally in seconds write you a plan. It'll say 10 minutes of this activity and do these. Here's a breakout session for 30 minutes, do this. It's just a fantastic brainstorming partner. So think of it as a brainstorming partner. And if you are, what's going to help with prompting is if you had and hired an assistant and a human, what would you need to tell the human to get the best output, right? We have to give context to it. All right, so did anyone see this photo that was all over the internet, right? All of us are like, oh man, the Pope, man, he's really trying to, cater to young professionals or younger individuals. This was completely AI generated. He does not own this coat. This coat, the Pope is not wearing. So we have to understand there's duality with everything, with all technology. And the duality is good and bad. And so we have to be really mindful of. Within, being able to use it, it's not accurate. So did anyone hear about the attorney that, went and used ChatGPT for his court cases and didn't fact check it? And he went to court and the cases he quoted were not real. Yeah, he's in the middle of being disbarred. So it's unfortunate, but we all learned from it. And so making sure that we understand to please fact check things back to it's a large language model. It's simply guessing with high accuracy words. And sometimes what it'll do is hallucinate with very high confidence. It's like, oh, well, the answer is this. Just make sure and fact check anything that it spits out. Adding where it says it lacks context, because if I go in and say, help me write an email to this couple about X, that's not a whole lot of information, so we have to go a little bit deeper. And again, if it was a human assistant, how much detail would I need to give them in order for the output to be better? And back to my favorite thing, and if you don't listen to one thing I have to say, make sure and write down the last sentence in your prompt is ask me questions for clarity. And then it will start prompting you so it can have a better output. You don't need to go, like everybody and their brother are selling these prompt packs, right? Buy me 1,000 prompts for 20 bucks. Everybody see those? They're everywhere. Actually, if you just ask it to prompt you, right? Just one sentence. Ask me questions for clarity, and it'll start prompting you, and you'll get way, way better output. Way better output. So it lacks context, it needs prompting, right? Being able to do these things. It's very much from a security and privacy. We have to be very, very careful with any AI tools. Be very mindful of all the new tools, being that the fact there's 52,000 of them. Some of them are not safe. Some of them like to just take over your computer. So anytime you're not quite sure about a new tool that comes out, just take a hot minute, go look up their website, go look up their leaders, look at LinkedIn, do they have a company page? Who's the people behind the company? We're seeing where everyone see like the headshots, like you load a headshot and you get 100 headshots. You see those? Yeah. Those things make me really, really nervous because now you've fed it your face. And guess what? It can be used, now they can use your face on inappropriate things or inappropriate videos or anything. So please don't upload your face into AI, right? Be very, very mindful, of that. Right now I think floating all over Facebook is this whole like 90s yearbook. Have you seen that where it's like the photo of what you looked like in the 90s? Again, be really, really careful. Read the terms and services of how is the images you upload, how are they going to be used? And the deep fakes, I would say, actually biased, right? It's very, very biased. So if you said, produce an image of people in South Africa, it's exactly what you think it is. That's very, very biased. We want to make sure and understand, that what it's producing is usually very incorrect. And then the deep fakes is the thing that really concerns me the most. Have you heard stories of, where someone spoofs a phone number and they call and say the daughter's been kidnapped, right? These stories that are happening very, very frequently. An individual that I know, working with a cybersecurity company, they had an executive in California. He was traveling for work, and they spoofed his phone number, spoofed his voice, called his executive assistant, said, hey, I'm in California and I forgot my credit card, can you give it to me? And they did, because why wouldn't you? It was the same phone number, same voice. So I encourage you, not only from a professional standpoint, but also a personal standpoint, maybe come up with a family safe phrase or safe word or business safe phrase or safe word. Because anyone can go and spoof your phone number and your voice with only a couple seconds of your voice. That's the scariest part of AI, making sure that we're protecting ourselves. Anyone else see any of the pitfalls out there? You have any other pitfalls that you saw or read?
Well, I read about
People's faces, yeah.
Or like situations where
Yes, yeah. So be very, very mindful of these pitfalls. There's so much good, but we just need to proceed with caution, right? Be very, very mindful of it. So I get asked a lot, they're like, how many hours are you really saving? I'll load all these up on here. How many hours we're saving on average by using AI, right? Social media, writing those, creating the images, any of the information, having to transcribe maybe a podcast or a webinar so I can turn it into a blog post, right? All of those different tools. So some transcription, how many of you in here have a podcast or a webinar that you do on a regular basis? A fantastic AI tool that I recommend for that particular purpose is called Descript. Descript. You've heard of it? Yeah. It's fantastic. So Descript is really good on video, podcasts, audio, webinars, because what's great in Descript, if maybe you stumbled through your words on something or you said some ums, in Descript, because it's transcribing everything you say, if you go and click on the words that you want to remove, it removes it from the audio and removes it from the video. Descript is one of my other favorite tools. All right, I always get asked, like, Kendra, you're dropping so many tools, can you put them all on one screen? I got you. Let me just load these all up. Because I talked about a lot, I'm just gonna load them all. So again, Canva and being able, I'll scoot out your way, being able to use ChatGPT and Canva. Canva is fantastic. Canva has 9 AI tools built into it. Canva has the ability for you to do what's called text to image. Like I said earlier, if I wanted to produce a cat riding a horse on a beach, you can do that. Canva, you can absolutely do that. It's very easy to do. They also have Magic Write, so they can write documents, Magic Flyers. You can just say a couple of words of what you're trying to do. It'll build a flyer for you. So being able to use, ChatGPT or Canva in any of these tools. You do not need all of these tools. I see people going, oh, it's so much. You don't need all of them. Again, good place. If I just had to pick 2 tools to walk out of here with, would be ChatGPT, because of the fact that you've got, the content and DALL-E built in, and or maybe adding Canva, depending on how much imagery you need to build. Yes.
So, you know that there's graphic artists and then
Yes.
like when I was younger, this where I had them create something for like garments or something. And
Yes.
they're like, oh, you own that now, so is this, these tools replacing you for that in a way? Or who owns that image?
Yeah, so copyright is something that comes up very, very frequently, and so anything you produce with it, you cannot copyright, right? So being able to do that. And so Congress is working out all the details, because AI happened way faster than our government could keep up. There was an executive order that came out on October 30th, and that's the first kind of ruling that has happened, from a Congress level around the information. Now, what they said that you can fight, right, from an imagery standpoint, is that it's like kind of like with photography. When you've taken the photography and you've edited it and now you've created it, there is ruling that you could potentially get a copyright off of that particular image, but you cannot copyright content. So everything is really we're still figuring it out, because it's, even though, like I said, 1931 is when the phrase was, even though it's been around a long time, there wasn't any regulatory around it at all. So great question. And so images, again, DALL-E, Midjourney, and Canva. DALL-E and Canva, I feel, are a lot easier to do. Midjourney, you have to actually sign up